Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial about physics assets. Now physics assets are going to be really important for you if you are importing in skeletal meshes. So if you've been following along with Luke's animation series where you're making a door animation, we're going to be using that exact same door rig here and showcasing how you can fix its physics asset to make it work the way we want it to work. So let's talk about how the physics asset works, what constraints are, how we customize its shapes, and everything we need to know about physics assets. So let's get started. So when you're importing in anything you've made in, say, Blender, Maya, any sort of animation with a rig, you'll see it comes in with a physics asset. Now, it will auto-generate the physics asset, that is Unreal will auto-generate this when you import in any skeletal mesh. However, you will find that this may not necessarily be accurate to what you actually want it to do. So, for example, we've got the door here from Luke's animation series, and we've imported it in, and we've got this door rig come through a physics asset. So I'm going to open up this physics asset, and you can see here, this doesn't look right. Yeah, we've got a big two capsules here, not really doing what we would want them to do. And the problem with that is, if I were to put this into the scene, the mesh, and walk up to it, you see we've got this weird sort of invisible wall around it. Okay, and that's because of those two big capsules on the physics asset. Now, this is generally a problem when you're importing any skeletal mesh that doesn't normally conform to UE4 or UE5 mannequin skeletons. Typically, when you import ones with those sort of skeletons, it's pretty good at figuring that out. But anything custom, you'll have to go into the physics asset and do some work to it. So let's go ahead and talk about how you can edit the physics asset and talk about how this all works. So first of all, the reason why we have a physics asset is that skeletal meshes are designed so that parts of their mesh can move. Okay, and because parts of the mesh can move, that means the collision also has to move. And because that has to move, we have to define it with these simpler shapes. We can't do something complex with it. We have to do something much simpler. And essentially, when we enable physics on this item, this dictates what should be connected to what. So it also generates, as I said, when you import it in. Now, these two spheres are two capsules are no good to us, so we can just delete these. I can select it and push delete like that. So now we've got something with no collision on it, and I can show that if I go back into the game. We can walk right through it. Okay, so it has no collision whatsoever. Now, with those deleted, you'll see the skeleton tree is actually empty, which is not what we want. We want to see the bones as part of our skeleton tree. So click on this little cogwheel here, and you want to show all the bones. And there's all our bones. And these refer to the bones that you come in with, or refer to the separate meshes that you may have too. Because it doesn't necessarily have to be rigged to support skeletal meshes. It just has to have multiple meshes to be able to animate. So in this case, we've got an actual animation and actual rig on this door. So let's set up our shapes on these bones. So I'm going to go to the root here, and I'm going to put on the root because I want to do the frame of the door in the physics asset. So with the root here, I'm going to right click on the root, go to add shape, and I'm going to choose what shape makes the most sense. In this sense, we're going to do box. Okay, and there's a little box at the bottom of the screen there, and you can just move it around and scale it to your liking. So I'm just going to scale it up and put that here. Now, one thing to be aware of, when you've got things that are going to be on the floor like this, you have to be quite careful not to make it clip through the floor, because you'll get some weird collision issues. So just want to make sure that that's just not touching the sides there. Okay, that'll do. And that's now tied to the root. And you can see here the shape here is connected to the root bone. Okay, so now I want to copy this shape onto the other side of the door frame. So I'm going to right click on the root here and do copy selected shapes to clipboard. I'm going to right click on the root again and do paste selected shapes from clipboard. And if I now move that across, you see we've got two shapes now appear like that. And if I click off and click back on, you'll see down here in our graph, we've got two shapes associated to the root bone. So just going to move that across and like that will be fine. And if you want to do the top, you're more than welcome to do the top. That's totally up to you. I'm not going to worry about that in this case because we're not going to be jumping up that high, so we don't really care about it. But you're more than welcome to obviously put that there. Okay, so next up we've got the actual door itself. So this is going to be on something that's going to move with the door. So I need to make sure I'm attaching this this box I'm about to do to whatever bone is about to move. And so I could attach it to like the handle, for example, or the pin. I can maybe even to the hinge, because the hinge is what's going to be rotating. So it doesn't matter where I put it, as long as it's on the part that moves. So I'm going to do the hinge. I'm going to right click on this, add shape, and do another box. And there you go, there's the box. And I'm going to put that in the middle and scale that up. And it doesn't have to be like super accurate. Just close enough is fine. So bring that up like that. And yeah, and that's it. Bring it forward a little bit like that. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that shape attached to that shape. So now I hit save, and that's our physics asset now done. So if I were to push play, I can't walk through the door anymore. But we've got a much closer collision profile for our door asset. Okay, so what happens when we enable physics on this thing? Well, let's take a look. If I click on simulate physics, push play, these two separate out. And the reason why they separate out is because we haven't constrained these shapes together. So this part of the mesh, the bit with the root on it, is got these two shapes attached to it, and they're doing something different. And then so there's the door here, because it's got, again, its own physics shape separately. So we fix that by constraining these physics bodies shapes together. So I'm going to go back to my physics asset, and we've got our shapes here, and we're now going to define a constraint. So I'm going to click on my hinge, I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to go down to constraints, and I'm going to add a constraint with the root. And now your graph here is going to change to show here we've got the root, which has a constraint with the hinge. And what I want to do is I want to move this constraint into the location that I want it to be, where the hinge is of the door, like so. And now if you've ever used any of the physics constraint components in actors before, this works exactly the same way. On the right hand side, you've got different constraint transforms, so this is where it's going to be placed, rotated, etc. And if I scroll down further, I can sort out the limits. So I want to constrain its rotational limits. So I'm going to go to the swing 1 here, and swing 2, sorry, and lock that. Oh no, that's one I want 3. This one I want to be locked, I think. Yep. So swing 1 locked, and twist we want to also lock. And I may also want to, rather than having this one free, is change it to limited. So it's got a little bit of movement. I'm going to turn it around. So it's got the movement on the correct side. And let's just increase that to 90. Let's actually do 100 there. Okay. So that's our constraint set up. And that will constrain the door to the frame. So if I hit save here, I can then push play. Remember, physics is still enabled on it. And now you can see the two are attached together. So now let's keep the door frame from moving around. Well, what we can do is click on the actual rig itself in the world and go down to the physics settings, and I'm going to lock its position and rotation in all of the nodes here. Okay, so I tick them all up here, and what that means is that it won't move, but the door in the middle will move because that's got a physics collision on it. Okay, it's a little bit stiff, and that's probably because it's skirting along the floor or colliding with the side of the frame. So it's a matter of just tweaking those shapes to get a bit more smoother movement. So let's go back in, tweak this shape a little bit. Okay, save that. And push play. There we go, a lot better movement now. And we've got now a physics-based door working without any sort of coding or anything like that, which is set up with just its physics asset. And because we've locked the rotation and movement of the door frame, or the root of the whole actor, it won't move off that spot. But the door will move because it's physics enabled. And just like our physics constraint, we can go into the constraint here, click on the constraint pin on the graph, go down on the right hand side and scroll down till you find motors, and we can turn on motors as well. I'm going to do twist and swing motor, and I'm going to change the swing, so turn on swing there. And what that'll do is it'll close the door for us using physics. Like that. We get a swinging door motion. And eventually it will stop. But you can tweak those settings as you like, just like it is with a normal physics constraint component. But there you go. Obviously, this is a very simple example with a very simple shape and very simple thing here. But obviously, character physics bodies are a lot more complicated, but you can see how they work. If you just take a look at your characters and go into the rigs, and you'll see here the physics asset for the mannequin. You can see it's a lot more complicated, has a lot more shapes, and a lot more constraints, but it's the same concepts. And we can click on these, and you can see the exact same thing here. This one's got two constraints, one for the top, one for the bottom. And we can click on any of these to find out how they did it. But say this is automatically generated pretty well most of the time. Another case where you may want to edit your physics asset is things like clothing. If you've got clothing and you want to make sure, or hair like sitting on the character, you need to make the physics asset small enough to not affect clothing, because it will affect the clothing it gets. So be aware of that one too. But there you go. So there you have it. We can now customize and edit our physics assets to our own liking. And as I said, you'll be noticing that a lot of your skeletal meshes that you bring in won't generate it correctly. So you will find yourself going in and editing the physics asset as you so need to. Okay. Now there are lots of other tools available to you in the physics asset that you can tweak and change. We'll cover those in another video, I'm sure. But if you want to see more content from me, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, where you can support the channel from just $1 a month and get access to all our videos early before everyone else. Thank you so much for everyone for donating and everyone for supporting the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching this, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.